Welcome to the 5% Club with your hosts Maria Mejia and David Pataki as they dig deep into what it takes to start, grow, and take your business to new levels. They do this by demystifying common mistakes, roadblocks, and pitfalls by handing you strategies, tips, and hacks. Get your pen and paper ready because here they are.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of
The 5% Club.
Woo! And your hosts are Maria Mejia, your imported accountant, and
I'm David Pataki, the Panastic business coach. I know I was MIA on the last podcast, but I had a previous engagement, so our trustee Alicia stepped in.
for some reason I feel like it's been forever since we did podcasts together.
Well, yeah, it feels like it.
2 weeks between podcasts with you is too much, apparently.
Exactly, right? So maybe we should up it. Maybe we should do 2 podcasts a week. Yeah, I don't think so.
That's not a lot of work or anything. Anyways, Mr. Pataki, today I thought we could talk about, how can business owners sell more, but specifically, how can we understand, our clients or our prospects to be able to sell to them?
Excellent question, Maria. Like a lot of people, when people start business, whoa. Let's rewind. All right. So I know, comedy hour with the Panastic business coach here. Anyways, a lot of times when people start businesses, they're good at something, whether it's gardening, landscaping, whether it's accounting for bookkeeping and all that fun stuff. They're really good at doing a service typically, or they have a passion for selling a certain product, but they weren't really trained or versed on how people or how the customers, prospects think, or what they really want. Or how to connect with them. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about being able to sell more by understanding the 7 fundamentals of human behavior. There's a lot of different areas that we can cover, but today we're going to talk about the 7 fundamentals when it comes to how they make decisions.
So we know that, like David said, that people, when they purchase, we've said this before in previous podcasts, that, normally they don't do it solely on logic, on, what makes sense at the time. They usually make those purchasing decisions due to emotion, like how they feel when they talk to someone who's going to either perform the service or sell them the products. So as much as we want to use logic sometimes with our selling, be like, oh, my product's much better because it does A, B, and C, compared to someone else's who only does A, we got to have that take a back seat and have the emotional decision-making take the front seat.
Right, exactly. And a great example of that is that, when someone is looking at buying a house, they'll go in, they'll do an open, or they'll do a walkthrough, they'll check it out. If they feel really good about it and they got a good feeling about it, it's something they want. And then after the fact, after they leave and they're discussing it with their partner or their spouse, then the logic comes in. Is it close to schools? Is it close to shopping? Is it a quiet neighborhood? Whatever. So the logic part backs up the emotional part of the decision. But we are human beings and we are emotional beings. So we have to always factor that in when we're looking at connecting or positioning our product or service to our prospects.
Yep. So I'll just jump right in and take over this conversation. Fundamental number 1 of the 7 human behaviors is everyone wants to have the best deal. So that doesn't mean, what is the lowest prices. It's actually, what is the best value? What's the biggest bang for your buck? People will be willing to pay twice the money for something that they perceive to be 4 times the value. So you need to show them your value situation. What values do you bring with your products or services?
Right. And the thing to consider here, great point there, Maria. The best value. So what is the best value in your prospect's mind? Well, the best value is the solution that you provide to solve the problem that your prospect has. We've talked about this in the past, and I'll reiterate it. Your prospects or your target market, they have a pain point. They have a problem that they want, but they don't have, right? And there's a solution out there that they want, but they don't have. So that's how you got to look at this. So if your best deal or the best deal you provide gives your prospects a great solution to their problem, not just part of the solution, it solves the entire pain point, then that is the best value. And then you can add some other stuff on there to make it even more valuable. So that's what we want to look at for fundamental number one, that everyone is looking for the best deal, AKA what's in it for me? Why would I want to buy from you? Because it's the best value. Oh yeah, and the other thing is that we got to consider is your competition is just going on price. They're not thinking along these ways, along this manner. And it's important for you to remember that your competition doesn't understand this. So they're not worrying about the best deal. All they're worrying about is having the cheapest price or the lowest price or just, priced right in the middle of the pack. But if you can actually provide extreme value for that solution, you can actually offer it at a higher price and you will still get more customers to convert because you're offering the value in that solution.
Yep.
So Maria, what is fundamental number two?
Fundamental number two. I don't know how to say that in.
Wait. Okay, so I know you're the imported accountant here. So in Canada, just so you know, Spanish is not an official language. It is French. So it's fundamental number deux.
Number deux. I know my husband, he speaks French and Spanish and English, and he would be saying it in like 10 different languages because he can. Anywho, fundamental number two is to always market to the negative. Now, just take a break. You've been listening to us for a second, but this is really, really important and, kind of earth shattering, especially when I first learned it, is to always market to the negative. So we will do anything to avoid pain, but we will do little to gain pleasure. So what that means is we need to stop marketing to, positive aspects of things, like do this and you'll have, rainbows and sunshine. And it's very, very common to always avoid the negative, the pain points, because you don't want to remind people that they have these certain, not issues, but certain problems, certain pain points. But this is something that we need to do so we can, stand out a little bit more. So kind of do a little shift of mindset. Think about, like we previously said, what is the value that you're giving your clients? What is the pain point that they have right now that you can market to? And then, start a discussion on that. Be like, hey, this is your pain point, and this is what I can do to help relieve that.
Right. So a great example to illustrate that is if you're trying to market to someone that you sell health products, for example, you want to go, well, feel better, or, live a healthy life is the positive side of that thing. But the pain point for them the pain point isn't living the healthy life. The pain point in them right now, or the problem that they have that they don't want, is the fact that they have aches and pains and their stomach is acting up, as they get older, other foods start to bother them. So that is the pain point you need to be talking about. So it's like, get rid of your back pain forever, right? Is sort of is pointing on the negative as opposed to, live a healthy lifestyle. Well, no. I mean, if we, the psychology on all this is funny because, ironic funny when you think about it, because, logically, this goes back to the whole logic thing. Logically, we all want to be healthier, right? But if we all wanted to lose the weight, eat better, exercise more, and that was something that we did, then most of us out there would be, healthy and pain-free and so on. But the positive doesn't work for us. We want to get rid of the pain, the uncomfortable part of it. So that's what you've got to identify. But just remember this as well. When you bring up that pain point, you're talking specifically directly to your prospects. If you're talking about get rid of that back pain forever, and I don't have back pain, that doesn't resonate to me. That doesn't speak to me. And that's okay, because that person isn't your prospect. They're not going to buy from you anyways. But if that person does have back pain and you spell it right out there, get rid of your back pain forever, then I want to read more. You're connecting to me. That's the pain point I want to get rid of.
Yep. And always have that negative be a realistic negative that someone will have in their life, and have your solution be connected to it. So, for example, if I say, I want to have, less stress in my family, and then I sell little bracelets or something like that, like those two don't really connect too well. So think of the different pain points and how they connect to your product and service.
100%. So, Maria, what would be fundamental number 3? Or
So,
trois?
number trace, like tracing paper. Anyways,
Hey,
I'm the
hey,
gymnastic girl today.
I know.
Which trolls? Anyways, the fundamental number 3 is, prospects buy based on emotion. We kind of harped upon this at the beginning of the podcast, but, humans begin making buying decisions based on their emotions. They only use logic to justify those purchases. So your prospects want to avoid pain, and they want it to resonate with them emotionally. So you need to market to the negative, as we said, as well as market to the emotion and how we can emotionally compel them to buy from us. So David, what's a good example of that? Because I can't think of something right now.
Well, the back pain is one of those excellent ways we can look at this. Just talking about the wellness industry. If your target, and again, this goes back to target market. We're not going to go through it today. We went through it in previous podcasts. So go back a few episodes and check that out. But when you look at different demographics, so if, for example, you're looking at females 50 to 65 years old that have back pain, typically those 50 to 65-year-old females, they have grandchildren. And what do they want to do with their grandchildren? They want to pick them up. They want to play with them. They want to get on the floor, get up and close personal with them, right? So the back pain scenario there, if that is your market that you're going after, you could say, relieve that back pain forever, so that you can enjoy the time pain-free with your grandkids. Right, you bring the emotional part in there, right? Because enjoy and connect with your grandchildren on their level, right? You're starting to paint the picture, the emotional picture of what it is that they can do once their problem is solved, right? So that's the emotional part that we want to look at here, right?
Yep.
The more, the more you understand your target market, and I can't say this enough. When most people start businesses, again, like they're not versed in these strategies. They don't understand, these types of things that they need to know. So if you think about it, if you can apply this, the target market, the better you know them, the so much better off you will be being able to attract and convert those prospects. And I'm going to say it again, maybe a couple more times, but your competition is not doing this, right? Your competition is not doing this. So if you do it, guess what? You're going to start dominating your market because you're the only ones that are thinking this way.
Yep. So you can just, do a YouTube search of some of those big businesses and their marketing strategy. Look at their ads and see, what emotions are they trying to hit? Is it the family togetherness due, to COVID, or is it, the grandparents being able to see their grandkids and things like that, like David said, figure out who your target market is and figure out what their specific pain points are so you can market to them and get that emotion going for them. So,
Just
fundamental.
hold on though. One last point there. Like it's interesting you brought up, the big boys that get out there and market, and not all of them do it properly, right? Unfortunately, we as a society, as a marketing society, we over the last number of decades, we've actually forgotten how to properly market to people. The big guys, they have the marketing dollars, they have the marketing or the marketing companies that specialize in it, but some of them get it wrong. But what happens too is that, they have the big budgets, so they more of the branding, just brand awareness. They put it on the Facebooks, they put it on the TVs, they put it on the billboards, they put it in whatever you're looking around. Those are the big boys. Sorry, not trying to be gender specific here, but the big,
Big
businesses that are
dogs.
doing that.
Hot dogs.
The big dogs. There we go. Big dogs and cats. I don't know. Can we throw that in there?
Parakeets. Fishes. I don't know.
Parakeets. Oh, Maria, perfect. Oh, the
Big
big
eagle. There we
parakeets.
go. You're the big
No,
eagle.
let's do the parrots. No, eagles are American. Go back to your English, Spanish speaking country. All
Anyway,
right, what's fundamental number 4?
so fundamental number 4 is to make your business unique. So there might be a few businesses that are using these same tactics that we have talked about. So you got to figure out, what are the different hot buttons for your prospects. It is very important and critical for you to separate your business from your competition. And the best way to do this is to create a niche or niche, as some people say, market for your business. Stop trying to market to everyone. Stop trying to be everything to everyone, because that is impossible to do unless you have a really big company such as like Walmart or something. Your prospects are looking for experts, especially if you are in the, service industry. They want someone that they know will solve their problem and do it right the first time. So, think of, what makes me different from Joe Blow down the street? How can I separate myself from him? Whether that being like how you package your products or services, or even what industry specifics that you serve.
Right, you said something interesting about Walmart. Interesting enough, if you do go to Walmart, you kind of think it is everything to everybody, but Walmart actually hits a specific target market as well. It's a broader target market, but there are a lot of people that won't go to Walmart, right? Because it is everything to everybody. They want either higher end products, because Walmart's not about the higher end products. They're not about the luxury products. So I know what you're trying to say there, but not
Down.
everybody can speak to everybody. That's a very interesting thing. But just wanted to state that. So the other thing to look at here is, if it's hard to find a differentiating factor between you and your competition, if you can narrow it down to a specific niche, I say niche. No, I don't know, what did you? It doesn't
I say
matter.
niche
So,
too. I've heard
niche,
niche
yes,
before.
niche. Yep, niche. Whichever the way is that we've decided, your financial success matrix way of saying it is niche with the quotes around it. Anyways, anyway, point being, if you can, I know I digress and we go all over the place, but if you can niche down your market, there's a number of different things that automatically happen to you. One is that you're able to laser focus your message. You can, because the tighter the target market, the more specific their major pain point is, and the easier it is to speak directly to them. And the second and maybe even more important part of this is your prospects are looking for experts to help them solve their problem. So so one of the examples are, if I'm a left-handed, red-headed female tennis player, right? And there's a tennis instructor out there says, tennis instructor for all ages and sexes, right? That doesn't really speak to me. But if I'm a tennis instructor that say I specialize in helping left-handed, red-headed females improve their tennis game, guess what? You're going to get all of those people because you are the expert in that niche. I know that's a little bit of a exaggeration for the niche market, but I think it points out what it is I'm trying to say here, that you then become the go-to person because you are specifically working with people in that niche.
Yep. And this doesn't mean, if you are, titled the expert in something, it doesn't mean that 100% everything about, that service, that product, or that industry, but you just know enough to be able to help those specific clients. So, for example, David's a business coach, but he doesn't do, business coaching for really tiny companies where it's just one person doing a side hustle. Well, he's a business coach for, bigger, more serious businesses who are ready to take that extra step to become, larger corporations. So, figure out which industry, which company's business size, which individual family size, things like that. Figure out who it is that you want to market to. Your man, start learning up, start studying, figuring out, what are their pain points, what are their hot buttons, what are their concerns, and then, create that advertisement specifically for them and market yourself. Be like, hey, everyone else might, serve family members in the Ontario area, but I serve specifically, these kind of clients. And so more people who come to you will also be more likely to purchase from you as well, since they've already kind of gone through that funnel of, everybody to your specific people.
Right. And one of the clients that I work with, she's a homeopath, and she works specifically with females over 40 that are overweight or entering menopause. So those are very specific, females over a certain age that are overweight. So she can target her messages specifically to them, so that if I'm a 25-year-old male, then it's not something I'm not going to be attracted to her marketing, because she's not looking to work with me. She's looking to work, and she has the expertise, or at least the experience, in helping people, the females over 40, help with their weight loss, help with their issues that they're having with menopause and so on.
Yeah. So moving on to the next fundamental number 5. I don't know how to say it in Spanish or in French because the extent of my language skills is to number 3. So fundamental number 5 is to create.
Sank.
Huh?
Sank.
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 Sank. No, I feel
C,
like
yeah, C-I, okay, keep going. All right. Fundamental number 5 is what, Maria?
Is to create an extraordinary value. My husband, he likes to tell me that, nothing is original nowadays. Everything has been done. So prospects usually have to buy due to price because, they're forced to. They feel like everything's the same. So whatever is the cheapest, they're going to go for. But in reality, they want the best value for their price that they are paying. They want to know that what you give them will benefit them, and that your solutions are unique and are different and specific. So sometimes you might need to do some innovation. For example, with us, everyone knows what a bookkeeper does, day-to-day data entry. They might give you a report, and they might, just send the information to the tax preparer. But, we take that a step further. We've combined David's expertise in his business coaching to create a report that analyzes not only financial statements, but other aspects of the business and combines it all together. That way, you not only get a financial report, but $100 view, not $100 view, 100-foot view of how your business is doing and what you can do right now to change that and to create a larger profit.
Well, exactly. And all our tax or all our bookkeeping packages includes tax returns or tax filing for the business owner. So we've taken a big and a holistic look at it and go, what is it that we can offer that is value to the business owner to help them make the buying decision easier? So they're not going to get an extra bill for the bookkeeping, or sorry, extra bill for the taxes. They get the profitability report on a monthly basis so they can, track on how they're doing. But we also put in we've got an e-learning system in the back end so they can help build their business as well. And then we also do HST reporting throughout the year as well, whether it's quarterly or yearly. That's just part of the package that we offer. So we're not nickeling and diming everybody. It's one package. Every month you're going to pay the same amount. And at the end of the year, you're not actually going to have to pay for your taxes because that's already been included in the price. So that's how we've been able to put extraordinary value around the bookkeeping side of things. So what Marie and I did, we said, okay, so this is what normally happens. So how can we innovate this? What can we do differently? And innovate doesn't always have to do with technology or that type of stuff. It has to do with how you perhaps bundle it or how you deliver the service or the product. So when you're looking at how can I add extra value, just take here. What I always like to say to my clients as well, I want you to remove yourself as a business owner. I want you to pretend that you are a prospect or a customer of yours. What is it that you would want from this business that would be extraordinary value? Like, what would it be that would make it so much different from everybody else that you would come back time and time again? And not only that, but you will refer lots of people to come to this business as well.
Yep. And along with that is, we've talked about joint ventures in the past. What other business or what other service might go with what you do? I know when I've talked to people, they're like, I didn't realize that business coaching could integrate with bookkeeping and accounting so easily. Once they talk about it out loud, they're like, yeah, that totally makes sense. So figure out, what can you combine with your business, with your products, with your services that, right now people might not think that they'll drive together. But once they start thinking about it and you kind of explain why you guys are together, that they'll be like, yeah, that totally makes sense. So whatever price you got, I'm going to buy because I like what you're selling. I can see the value. I can see how different it is from everyone else.
I was working with another client recently as well, and they sell office equipment. And one of the joint venture additional services that we were able to come up with was, this is for home office, by the way. So they sell office equipment specifically for home office. So what we were able to do was come up with a cleaning service so that every time that when someone had prospect buys the home office furniture, then before they install it or before it's all put together, they send over a cleaning crew and they clean up the room, make sure it's all nice and tidy, and then when the new furniture comes on in, it's all in nice, clean, ready to go, pristine, and that's a service that they're offering at no additional cost. They've built it into the price of the sale. They do have a relationship with the cleaning company, and the benefit for the cleaning company is now they have an opportunity to have a new client. They're able to go in there. So it's lead generation for them. They're able to go in, do an excellent job cleaning the office for this homeowner, and then they have the opportunity to engage or leave a card or some sort of marketing material, or an opportunity to upsell them on doing weekly or bi-weekly cleaning. So it's a win-win for both sides of the businesses here.
Yep. So I kind of touched upon it with the previous fundamental, but fundamental number 6 is you need to communicate your uniqueness, your extraordinary value. So we need to create a laser focused message. In that message, you got to tell your prospects what they want to hear and how you offer such great value. In short, it's kind of like, how do you do what you do? And so most people, when they come up with a unique product or service, they're like, oh yes, I have this, page long essay of, what it is that I do, the exact details of what it is that I do, what I offer. Well, we need to condense it. Elevator pitch, elevator speech, as it's called, 30 seconds when you meet someone, describe what it is that you do. And if it's compelling enough, they'll start that conversation, that back and forth, to learn much more deeply how it is that you do what you do.
Right, and doing the elevator pitch is an excellent exercise. Obviously it's good for networking or when you meet somebody. Even at even at the grocery store. If you're in line and you're waiting a few minutes, and you might start up a conversation with someone in the line, and they say something to you. They ask, "Oh, what do you do?" Then you have to have that laser focused message. But the key to having that message figured out, already written down. And yes, back to the 5% club, everybody, write it down. Now you've got it now you can use that in your marketing material as well. A lot of online marketing is going on these days because, most people are on the web, checking things out online, on the web, whatever you want to call it, the interweb, all those, whatever term it is that you want to use. The point is that you do need, especially online, you've got 3 to 5, maybe 10 seconds at the very, very most to grab their attention. So your message needs to be laser focused. And what you really want to happen at the end of this message, especially if you're talking to them in person, if they ask, how do you do that? Then you know that you're on the right track, that your message is conveying the right message. It's hitting the right people, and it's hitting the pain point. It's showing the solution that you have, and then they want to know, how do you do that? Now you've got them hooked because they're interested. You've connected with them. Now they want to find out more about how you actually do that.
Yep. So in our business, in the matrix, we like to say, we bridge the gap between being simply CRA compliant and building a successful business. That's our 30-second, hey, this is what we do. And then, most business owners don't fail because there was a problem in their business and they, ignored it. They fail because there was a problem and they just didn't see it. So we are here to help you see that problem. That's kind of our elevator pitch of how to get people interested and be like, okay, you guys aren't just a normal bookkeeping business that does my data entry and gives me a report at the end. You help me find problems, identify them, and give me solutions on how to solve them so that I can have that successful business that I wanted from the beginning. So figure out, what is it? What's point A? What's point B? What's the pain point? And what's the solution? And how are you filling that gap for your clients, for your prospects?
100% there, Maria. So what would fundamental number 7 be?
So fundamental number 7, our final one, is prospects want to buy what they want, not what they need. So wants, as we said, are emotionally based. We've kind of been harping on this the entire time. What is the emotional aspect of your products or service? So you need to find out a way to figure out, what do your prospects really want, and you need to give that to them. So sometimes the prospects will come to you and be like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z done for me. Can you do that? Well, what is it that they actually want done versus what do they need done? Maybe they do need their taxes filed for them, but what they really want is somebody to stay on top of them, be like, hey, your due date's this day, your due date for this other return is this day, and having that constant communication and having that person there where they have questions, they can just call you up or send you a message and you're always going to be there for them. That's something that they really want. Compared to, what they came to you and said, hey, I need X, Y, and Z done.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times they might not even ask what or even know what they really need. They just know what they want. And a lot of times when I'm working with customers, with clients, what they want is more profit, right? But what they need is strategies in place They need to look at their cost cutting. They need to look at their pricing. They need to look at, do they have the proper upfront offer? Do they have a proper downsell? So these are things that they don't want per se, but they need those. Again, they come to the table and say, yeah, I want to make more money, or I want more time, right? But so what they need is the strategies in place to make those things happen. So the point there is that you want to, again, just market to them for what they want, but you can, here's a little bit of a psychology thing here. So you market to them what they want, and then you give them what they need to make the want happen.
Yeah, so it's that emotional aspect of, what is that pain point? They want something to resolve that pain. Well, you know what it is. It might just be, something really simple, but they also need something else to, prevent that pain point from coming up again. So that's kind of when subscription base will come into play, if you do have something that can be in a subscription base, or if you have something that can, resolve that need permanently. So figure out, what do they want? What is their pain? And how can you resolve it with, the product or service that you offer?
Yeah, 100%. When we're talking about the land, go back to the landscape service that we always go back to. The homeowner, what they want is a beautiful looking house, right? What they don't really understand maybe is that they need flowers, they need their lawn cut, twice a week. They need to put the fertilizer down, the weed control down, like all these things that they don't understand they need. What they truly want is an attractive yard, so that when their neighbors drive by, they're envious because their property looks so nice, right? Again,
Best
it goes
dressed,
back to, pardon me?
best dressed lawn in the hood.
Exactly. But again, that goes back to what your target market is, right? So you know what they want. Like if you're into, a higher end neighborhood, then that's what they think mostly about perception. How do people perceive how they're living? If their house looks nice from the street, but the flowers and the trees are trimmed and the bushes are trimmed, and the grass is always cut and it's green, there's no weeds. That's a reflection on them, right? Now, whether, 90% of the people that see that property are never going to be inside the house, but everyone outside, the 100% of people are going to look at the outside and go, well, they must be, living a great life. Their house must be super clean. They must have a great family life, all that type of stuff. That goes back to who your prospect is and what their wants and their pain points are.
So, to go over once again what all of the fundamentals of the 7 human behaviors to help you with your marketing is, number 1, everyone wants the best deal. Number 2, always market to the negative. Number 3, prospects buy based on emotion. Number 4 is market your business's uniqueness, or make your business unique. Number 5 is to create an extraordinary value. Number 6 is to communicate that uniqueness and that extraordinary value. And number 7 is that prospects buy what they want, not what they need.
Right, and kind of the golden rule here I like to throw out there is, I know most of us know the golden rule is, treat others as you like to be treated. But sort of the golden rule I want you to take away from here is that find out what your prospect really wants and give it to them. That is the golden rule for this lesson.
Get lots of gold from it. Amazing. Thank you, David, for all that wealth and for those tips. That was great. If anybody has any, questions, or they have, want to talk to David one-on-one, you can send a message to us directly via our Facebook, URFS Matrix, or even, hop onto our website and send us a message at urfsmatrix.com. And we are here to help you to solve your concerns, to help you build that successful business that you have always been wanting.
Right. And I'll keep saying it every time, hopefully, is that success is actually easier than you think. All you need to do is ask us, and we will help generate that roadmap and make sure that you're successful.
Yep. So, like, share, and subscribe. We love to be able to help as many business owners as possible. And as I said, if you have any questions, concerns, let us know, and we will talk about it in another podcast episode. So, thank you, everyone, and we will see you and you will hear from us next time.
Until next time.
Bye.